2008's The Strangers has been praised for being what many consider one of the most disturbing pieces of horror ever made. The film follows a couple who are tormented by a group of masked home invaders shortly after returning from a friend's wedding ceremony. Something that makes this film a little bit more eerie is that the director, Brian Bertino, actually experienced an incident similar to this in the neighborhood he grew up in as a child. Bertino once stated this in an interview. As a kid, I lived in a house on a street in the middle of nowhere. One night, while our parents were out, someone knocked on the front door and my little sister answered it. At the door, there was these people asking for somebody who didn't live there. We later found out that these people were knocking on doors in the area and, if no one was home, breaking into the houses. Bertino decided to take this personal experience and mix it with a more well-known true crime story, the Manson family murders. One of my favorite things about this film is the production design. Bertino built the couple's summer home inside of a giant 600 feet by 235 feet building. That way every banging sound in the film would naturally be 100 times louder and give the audience a sense of total isolation. Let me get a little bit personal for a second here. One thing that I hate that a lot of horror movies do is when their studios decide, let's make a shit ton of jump scares and put a bunch of loud rising music before the jump scares actually happen. This, on the other hand, doesn't do that. It's actually quite smart on how it throws the jump scares at you. As a huge fan of horror films, there's one thing that I've learned on how to deliver a great jump scare. Distract your audience. I mean, what's the whole point in trying to scare your viewer when you're just going to throw everything in plain sight? That's what makes this film stand out from a lot of other horror films. The acting is fantastic too, and I really enjoyed Liv Tyler's performance. It made me feel that she herself was genuinely terrified through the whole thing. I don't want to spoil anything, but all I can say is that towards the end is where I believe both her and Scott Speedman give off their best acting in the film. Now, with the three killers' performances, you may ask, holy shit, they are creepy. There are only like 3 lines of dialogue that one of them says in here, and it makes them more frightening. Also kind of adds mystery to them, you know? I very much enjoyed the pacing that this film has. Although there are many moments that feel like unhurried takes, it never made me consider this as a slow burn type thing. Now, when there are pros, there are cons, and that is something to do with the cinematography. The majority of the film is shot on a handheld camera and is the reason why everything always looks so shaky. I get that it's supposed to make the audience creeped out by believing that the main characters are constantly being watched from afar, but for me, it just got to a point where I just found it annoying. To wrap this up, go check out The Strangers. It is a perfect, well-structured horror film, and especially if you're wanting to feel disturbed. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.